Love in the Enchanted Grove. She's enchanting, vivacious, brilliant, and magnetic. Everything I've ever wanted in my life partner. Just thinking about her, Lila Moon, sends a shiver up my spine. A rush of excitement swells in my chest. At 27 years old, she's a whirlwind of charisma, a siren call of fire and ice. She's the kind of woman you can talk to for hours, then lay under the stars in comfortable silence, each moment filled with the scent of jasmine and the sound of crickets serenading us. She's a natural artist, painting the world with her laughter and authenticity. Lila despises pretense, but loves genuine hearts. And her kindness radiates like sunlight breaking through the branches of the trees in the Enchanted Grove, where we first met. The love of my life. She holds the sunset in her smile, and the dawn in her laugh. We are in love. I recall the very first moment our paths crossed. It was during a vibrant art festival in the little town of Willowdale. I had just moved in 2 weeks prior, and felt lost amidst the crowd. I met my new friend, Tara, who seemed like a grounding force. She was bubbly, artistic, and had a quirky charm that immediately made me feel at home. With her gleaming introduction to the festival, I was swept into a whirlwind of colors, laughter, and creativity. That's when I saw Lila. At first glance, she seemed like everything I was not, a free spirit who embodied every hue of the spectrum. She had cascading curls that looked like they hadn't been tamed by anyone, sparkling green eyes that might have stolen the very essence of adventure, and an aura that seemed to pull everyone into her orbit. I stood transfixed, unable to look away until she approached. "Let's paint the town today," she exclaimed, her energy infectious, igniting joy in the air around us. I chuckled nervously. "Only if you promise I won't mess up your masterpiece." "Oh, darling," she replied with a wink. "It's more fun if we're both a bit messy." Just then, humor erupted as Lila, playful and bold, slipped her paint-spattered hands in front of her, gesturing, "Prepare yourself for an artistic duel." Her laughter was bright and captivating, drawing me in further. I replied, "Well, let me grab my paintbrush." It was palpable, this instant connection, our souls colliding in a way that softened the edges of reality. But just as quickly as she came, Lila was pulled over by her friend, Jenna, who glided over in a colorful ensemble, arms wide open. I watched them leave together, my heart sinking slightly in the wake of her absence. "Don't worry, she'll be back," Tara encouraged, nudging my arm. As we ventured through the festival, Jenna's lively spirit guided Lila and me together again. I couldn't help but hold my breath as I memorized every detail of her contagious smile and warm demeanor. "Hey there, you were talking about a duel," Lila quipped upon returning, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Ah, I'm ready to lose in the most glorious way," I replied, trying to hide how intensely my heart raced when she smiled at me. She stepped closer, looking straight into my eyes. "Then let's unleash some chaos together." Our laughter was a melodic dance that filled the air. And before I knew it, she leaned in, her voice a conspiratorial whisper. "Let's create a masterpiece that'll make the critics gasp." "I fully support this idea," I replied, practically floating in her presence as we grabbed supplies and lost ourselves in our creativity. Later that day, under the kaleidoscope of twilight hues, she stood beside me, her hair tousled by the gentle breeze, painting the sunset on a canvas. I was utterly mesmerized. "Are you watching me paint, or just thinking about how much you love me?" she teased, turning her head slightly with a smug grin. "Perhaps I'm doing both," I admitted, my cheeks flushed with sincerity. Lila's laughter filled my heart once again, and I knew that from that day on, beneath the enchanting trees of Willowdale, a love story was blooming, one colored by laughter, passion, and the undeniable magic of real connection. The days that followed were a whirlwind of laughter, late-night art sessions, and spontaneous adventures around Willowdale. Lila and I quickly became inseparable. Each moment felt like a canvas waiting to be painted with our shared memories. We explored the whimsical trails of the Enchanted Grove, where the sunlight filtered through the leaves in a mesmerizing dance, and every turn revealed a new secret of nature. We shared personal stories, dreams, and aspirations, open and unguarded, the kind of conversations that weave two hearts closer together. One evening, we decided to host an impromptu picnic in the grove. Armed with a basket filled with gourmet sandwiches, fresh fruit, and a bottle of rose. We set up a blanket under a majestic oak tree, draped with twinkling fairy lights. As dusk settled in, the air held an intoxicating blend of sweetness and anticipation. "This is magical," I sighed, taking a sip of the crisp wine. "I never would have imagined I'd find a place like this. Or someone like you." Lila leaned back on her elbows, her curls framing her face like an art piece. "You're the one who brought the magic, Colby. Everything feels brighter with you around." Her words wrapped around me like a warm embrace. We feasted on the food, laughing and sharing bites. I watched her animated gestures as she recounted a funny story from her childhood, bringing to life the way she had nearly fallen into a fountain while trying to impress a crush. I laughed until tears streamed down my cheeks, unable to resist her infectious enthusiasm. Each laugh seemed to pull us closer, weaving our souls together tighter. Then, she grew quiet for a moment, her gaze drifting to the stars beginning to twinkle above. "You know," she started, her voice softer now, "I've always been afraid of connections. I was scared of feeling too much and losing myself in someone else." I placed my hand over hers. "I understand that fear. But with you, I feel like I'm finding myself more than losing. It's like all the pieces fit together. I can be my true self without pretense." She turned to look directly into my eyes, and in that moment, the world around us faded. Her green eyes sparkled with a vulnerability I hadn't seen before. "You make me feel safe, Colby. I've always had my walls up, but you're breaking through them. It scares me and excites me all at once." The air felt charged with unspoken truths hanging between us. I leaned closer, feeling the warmth radiating from her skin. "We don't have to put a label on anything just yet. Let's explore this connection together, wherever it leads." Lila's lips curved into a smile, a mixture of relief and happiness washing over her. Then, without hesitating, she leaned in, and our lips met for the very first time. It was an electric moment, a soft brush of uncertainty that quickly ignited into pure passion. Our laughter faded into the background, replaced by the rhythm of our heartbeats echoing in unison. We pulled apart, both breathless and giggling like mischievous schoolgirls. The warm glow of the fairy lights surrounded us, and I felt as if the universe had aligned in that single beautiful moment. "I think I could get used to this," Lila whispered, her voice full of wonder. "Me too," I replied, since words alone couldn't capture the magic unfolding between us. As our summer adventure continued, we created innumerable memories that intertwined like vines on an ancient oak, all leading back to that first magical moment under the twinkling lights. We dove headfirst into art, attending workshops and galleries, sharing our creations with one another openly. Lila had inspired me to take my art seriously, but more than that, she taught me how to infuse my soul into every brushstroke. One evening, as the air carried hints of autumn, we hosted an art showcase in our favorite spot in the grove, inviting the friends we had made along the way, Tara, Jenna, and Marta. It was a celebration of our creativity and connection, each piece of art adorned with splashes of our shared laughter and inspiration. "Introducing two of the brightest stars of Willowdale," Jenna exclaimed, her voice full of excitement as she ushered us to the front. I stood beside Lila as we revealed our joint masterpiece, a sprawling mural on a massive canvas, depicting the Enchanted Grove in all its glory, a swirl of colors capturing sunset hues, dappled light, and the very essence of our bond. "This is stunning," someone in the crowd called out. Another chimed in, "Truly mesmerizing." Lila nudged me, her eye gleaming with mirth. "We did it, Colby. We created something beautiful together just like us." As I looked around at the smiling faces and felt the pulse of love and acceptance in the air, I knew this was just the beginning of an incredible journey. The world felt alive, and I felt alive too, with Lila by my side, my muse, my partner, my love. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with violet and crimson, I took her hand, and we both knew that no matter where our journey led next, it would always be vibrant and full of magic, just like us. As the months unfolded, Lila and I transformed our lives into a vibrant tapestry woven with love and passion. The art showcase in the Enchanted Grove had become our launching pad, igniting a flurry of creativity in the community. We organized weekly open mic nights at a quaint cafe in Willowdale, where local artists could share their talents, poetry, music, and visual arts. The cafe buzzed with excitement, becoming a hub for expression and connection. Lila always took the stage with her guitar, her voice a delicate, enchanting melody that resonated deeply within my heart. I would watch her perform, mesmerized by her presence, completely lost in the moment. On one particular night, she surprised everyone by inviting me to join her. My heart raced as I stepped onto the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen," Lila said, her eyes sparkling with mischief, "this is my heart and soul, Colby Devon. Together, we're going to take you on a little journey." I was shaking, but the warmth of her hand in mine, and that playful grin grounded me. Hi everyone," I stammered, gripping the microphone tightly. "Tonight we'll be doing a cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow." As we began to play, my anxieties melted away, and we harmonized beautifully, each note taking flight in a colorful serenade that captivated our audience. The applause at the end filled the cafe with a sense of camaraderie and joy, and I realized how much courage Lila had inspired in me, not only to express myself, but to embrace love openly. Outside the cafe, the evening air was crisp and bright with stars, and I could hardly believe how lucky I felt. "You were amazing," Lila exclaimed, her eyes gleaming with pride. "Why haven't you done that before?" "I was always too scared," I admitted, still feeling the exhilaration buzzing through my veins. "But with you, I feel invincible." As we walked home, Lila took my hand, and the warmth spread through me like a gentle fire. "You know, I've been thinking," she began, turning serious for a moment. "How about we look for a studio space together? We can finally create our thoughts without boundaries." The suggestion made my heart race, not just at the prospect of an art studio, but the thought of officially becoming partners in every sense. "I'd love that. But what if it's a huge flop?" I questioned. Lila stopped walking and turned to me. "Colby, life is full of uncertainties. All we can do is follow our hearts and see where it takes us. Besides, as long as we're together, I call that a success." Her faith in me was intoxicating. I nodded, feeling encouraged. "Okay, let's do this." Over the following weeks, our search for the perfect studio became an adventure in itself. We explored various locations scattered throughout Willowdale, each space igniting our imaginations and fueling our dreams. We finally stumbled upon an old brick building on the edge of town, with large windows that spilled light across the hardwood floors. The moment we stepped inside, we could envision our art covering the walls, every inch of the room pulsating with vivid colors and creativity. "This is it." Lila looked at me, a spark of determination in her eyes. "This is where we'll create our masterpiece." We signed the lease with a mix of excitement and nervous energy, poring over paint swatches, canvas sizes, and decor ideas, as we set to work transforming the raw space. It was exhilarating. It felt like crafting our own fairy tale amidst the scent of freshly mixed paints, and the sound of our laughter echoing against the walls. As the studio came to life, so did our relationship. We'd stay late into the night, wrapped in each other's warmth, collaborating on new projects, brainstorming wild ideas, and sharing stolen glances that spoke volumes. Each evening would end with us sprawled across the floor, exhausted yet fulfilled, often falling asleep in each other's arms, surrounded by the remnants of our creative chaos. Then, one chilly evening in late fall, as golden leaves drifted from the trees, we decided to host a grand opening for our studio. We spread the word throughout the community, inviting friends, fellow artists, and new connections. The night arrived, and every corner of our studio was adorned with our shared creations. Paintings hanging near windows, sculptures standing tall in corners, and strings of fairy lights illuminating the atmosphere. People flowed in, the room pulsating with laughter and the clinking of glasses. Lila and I moved through the crowd, feeling proud of what we had accomplished not only as artists but as partners. Our community enveloped us, appreciating our hard work and the love we infused into every piece. In the middle of the celebration, the atmosphere shifted as Lila took to the center of the room once more, her guitar in hand. "I want to dedicate this song to my amazing partner," she announced, flashing me a smile that made my heart leap. As she strummed the opening chords, the room hushed, and she began to sing an original piece, a beautiful reflection on love, vulnerability, and the fierce spirit of partnership. Her voice washed over me, tinged with the essence of everything we had shared. I could see the audience swaying, spellbound as if caught in a magical moment with us. Tears filled my eyes as she sang the last note, the room erupting into applause. Lila stepped off the stage and enveloped me in a tight embrace, her eyes gleaming with joy. "You're my everything, Colby," she whispered. "I feel the same," I responded, my heart overflowing. With our shared laughter and love, the studio felt like our little sanctuary, a place where our dreams could take flight, and we could explore the depths of our creativity. Together, we built not only a space for our art, but a home for our love, a love that was as colorful and vibrant as the masterpieces we created side by side. As we looked forward to the adventures that lay ahead, we knew there would be challenges, uncertainties, and even moments of doubt. But united by creativity, laughter, and an unbreakable bond, we felt ready to face whatever life threw at us. We were partners in every sense, and this was just the beginning of our extraordinary journey together.